Today, I'm serving up a morbid morsel, a bite-sized curiosity plucked from the shadowy corners of history. Short, strange, and just unsettling enough to stick in your teeth. He unlocks the basement door like it's just another day at the office. But Cedric Lodge isn't just a manager. He's a gatekeeper. Behind him, the cool, antiseptic scent of the Harvard morgue gives way to something far more pungent: secrecy. The dead lie still on steel tables, donated in good faith, given for science, for progress, for good. But Lodge, he has other plans. Tonight, he opens a body bag not to study, but to steal. A skull, a spine, maybe a few limbs, wrapped like meat in butcher paper. They'll be boxed up, labeled, and mailed to customers with strange appetites and stranger intentions. Outside, students walk Harvard Yard with heads full of ethics and excellence, never suspecting what horrors are being packaged just a few floors below. The dead entrusted to the world's most prestigious university, sold to the highest bidder. Welcome to one of the most chilling, body-snatching scandals of the 21st century. Cedric Lodge wasn't just a janitor or lab tech. He was the manager of the anatomical gift program at Harvard Medical School. His job? Overseeing the remains of people who had willingly donated their bodies to science. And for a while, he did just that. Until he didn't. In mid-2023, federal authorities announced that Lodge had been stealing parts of cadavers from Harvard's morgue and selling them through an underground network of human remains dealers. The bodies were meant for medical research, used to train future doctors, test surgical techniques, advance our understanding of anatomy. Instead, Lodge and his wife turned them into a grisly business. They sold skulls, brains, spines, and limbs. Sometimes they shipped them out. Other times, Lodge reportedly invited buyers into the morgue itself, like some twisted version of a showroom, letting them browse and choose what they wanted to take home. This wasn't a one-off scheme. It stretched across several states. One buyer was a tattoo shop owner in Pennsylvania. Another was a woman running a Facebook group where human bones were openly traded under the guise of curiosity collecting. One man even displayed skulls in his apartment like art. The details are grotesque. One package was labeled brains. Another involved a human head wrapped in plastic, delivered like a perverse Amazon order. And Harvard? They had no idea. When the news broke, the university issued a public apology, calling Lodge's actions a, quote, betrayal of the donor community, unquote. Families were heartbroken. Some had sat in quiet rooms and signed the paperwork, believing their loved ones would contribute to science. Instead, those remains were trafficked like collectibles at a swap meet. Lodge and several others were arrested and charged with interstate transport of stolen goods, conspiracy, and abuse of a corpse. The court documents read like horror fiction, but every word was real. What makes this case especially disturbing is where it happened. Not in some basement clinic or shady mortuary, but inside Harvard University, one of the most respected institutions in the world, a place synonymous with excellence, ethics, integrity. And yet, behind a locked door, in a cold room, the age-old horror of body trafficking had crept back to life. Because while we often think of body snatching as a 19th century horror, guys with shovels and lanterns digging up graves for anatomy schools, this case proves the black market never really went away. It just moved online and into the hands of the people we trusted most. What happened in the Harvard morgue isn't just unsettling, it's personal. It forces us to ask, what is dignity worth when the dead can't speak for themselves? Who protects the legacy of those who gave everything, even their bodies, for the betterment of others? Cedric Lodge had keys to the morgue and the trust of hundreds of families. He betrayed both. And while the law may catch up with him, the chilling truth remains. Even in our most sacred spaces, horror can still find a way in. Sometimes, the monsters aren't the ones hiding in shadows. They're the ones wearing name tags and unlocking doors. And that, dear listeners, wraps up this Morbid Morsel. I'm your host, Thomas Gloom, and as you digest this nasty little treat, I know your hunger will once again grow. And when it does, I'll be back with more history for you to sink your teeth into. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and leave a review. It would truly mean a lot to me and goes a long way in helping new listeners find the show. And to stay up to date with all the Morbid History happenings, follow the page on Instagram at Morbid History Pod. Be on the lookout for the next full-length episode of Morbid History in 2 weeks. Until then, share this episode with some friends and stay curious.